family, peace to my comrades, and it's always smoke to the Pro boxing fan. What a weekend of boxing. Shout out to the champ, Terrence Bud Crawford. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Woo! Man, y'all, we've been up late. What a weekend of boxing. Peace to the family. Peace to my comrades, and it's always smoke to the Pro boxing fan. Gonna be talking about the 10-point system in the sport of boxing. We're gonna get right into it, family. So I'm gonna put that on pause. Salute to Eric Jordan in the house. Peace to all of the true fans of the sport of boxing. What we witnessed over the weekend was something that boxing has not had in a long time. We had two masterful fighters. As far as the main event is concerned, we had two masterful fighters. The fighting pride of Guadalajara, Mexico, Canelo Alvarez, versus the fighting pride of Omaha, Nebraska, Terrence Bud Crawford. We saw the highest form of the sport of boxing on display. Not only that, family, salute Mac of the South. Not only that, if anyone saw in Billy versus Martinez, that, family, was a war. It's not getting the love it should be getting, but we saw at least two great fights. Vargas and Walsh would have been a little bit more. But today, I want to start off saying salute to all of you who are true fans of the sport of boxing. And no matter what, we did not allow them to ruin that moment for us who truly love the sport. Mac of the South said that was a firefight in Billy versus Martinez. Now, the great thing, family, about Netflix that I realized this morning is that I was able to go back and watch the fights, and we no longer have to wait for the fights to be uploaded by Top Rank, by ESPN. I was able to go right into Netflix and go right to the best moments of these fights. Salute Joseph Townsend in the house. Great fight on Saturday. Now, there's some things that I want to review because the casual boxing fans and people who are just haters of the sport, family, we have to go ahead and take the narrative before they try to run with it. That's why I labeled this video, "What rounds did Canelo win?" And this is why. Canelo has come out himself this morning, actually, and he put out a message. Canelo Alvarez, one of the Mexican fan bases, one of the greatest fighters in Mexican history, in boxing history, but in the lineage of their fighters, he came up and he said, I take this loss humbly because I have accomplished great things in the sport, but this is boxing. Now, for those of you who are really just haters, man, you are casual haters and race fan haters, and we have to push you out the sport because you all don't really love boxing. Canelo said, this is the most important part of the statement that he said. The most important part of that statement, Canelo says, this is boxing. You want to win all of them, but this is boxing. Sometimes we are going to lose. Now there's some things that's going to be a domino effect about what happened, because so many of these fighters who don't want to chase greatness, and you can say what you want about Canelo, you can say what you want about Bud, but they chased it great. They chased greatness. There are fighters who want to keep their O. And you all who love the sport, you all know what I'm talking about. Phantom Venom says, I extend my sincere hope that you experience an exceptionally pleasant day, brother. Same to you, family. I appreciate that. A very technical fight. Now, family, I usually only put the chat on subscribers only. I won't be doing that today. So those of you who have wrenches, I could have sworn I gave family Joseph Townsend. I thought I gave you a wrench. Why is his wrench not up? Let's get our brother right real quick. So wrenches, all my wrenches, you're going to have some work to do today if you are in the chat. Sheldon LDBC or nothing is in the house. All right, family, I'm not putting subscribers only because I'm going to need the chat to help me. All right, so wrenches, you know what to do. If people come in the chat BSing, get them out of here. All right, because we're talking boxing. Now, with that being said, Canelo Alvarez points it out, and for those of you who are just now tuning in, or if it's your first time, to celebrate the sport of boxing, to celebrate Bud's win, you all know I had popped some bottles. I was drinking a little, went to go get my checkup that I usually get. I just took my little bandage off because they took blood and everything. And the nurse said to me, hey, yo, nurse didn't say, hey, yo, but the nurse said, you need to drink some water. You're dehydrated. She asked me, she said, well, what did you drink today? I said, I really didn't drink that much water today. And she said, well, what'd you drink over the weekend? Now, family, y'all know what we was drinking over the weekend. Y'all know we were getting lit, especially after the fight. So now, Patrice X, you're right. I was on that wild now. So Coach went and I got some aloe vera drink. They told me to get some of this. And I went and got some coconut water. So they have forced me. I was headed to the mountain, y'all. Coach was headed to the mountain. I was going to go live on the mountain. They told me I needed to sit my ass down and hydrate. So since I got to sit down, hey, back in the South, you see what I did, man? I got to sit down now and hydrate per my family's instructions. All right. So I was drinking that wine now. So, all right, let's get into it. So for those of you in the chat, I'm going to ask you all this first. What rounds, like the video says, what rounds are you all giving to Canelo? What rounds are you all saying Canelo won? Because there's a big debate now going on Facebook that I'm hearing Canelo won 4 rounds, Canelo won 5 rounds. You got some casual fans saying that they were running, that Bud was running. You got casual fans saying that they fell asleep during the undercards. Family, if anyone was watching that fight and watched Billy versus Martinez and you fell asleep, you're not a real boxing fan. You're full of shit. I just got to keep it real. All right, so let's see what we got in the chat. We got, let me go up a little bit. Salute, Stormer B-Man in the house. PMW said, I went to sleep after the fight. I think we all did. I think it was like 2 in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning. All right, let's see. Some people are saying 3. Some people are saying 3. All right, Canelo only won 1 to 2 rounds. All right, let's see. Munguia said it was a draw. I know you lying. Mac of the South, you said Munguia said it was a draw? Listen, if I was Munguia, I would try to be a fly on the wall with what he just had going on. Shh, you might want to be quiet, cabron. Let me see. John said 1, 2 rounds is crazy. So talk to me, family. Who come on, y'all, tell me how many rounds are you all giving to Canelo? Damn it! All right, I'm gonna help out some of my casual guests. Who do you think will win in the upcoming UFC? We ain't talking about that right now, fam. We're talking about boxing. PED heads got to stick together. No way it was a draw. Canelo got spanked. Sharecropper Shelton. Canelo disrespect is wild. I had it 8-4 Bud. 8-4. Okay. John has it 8-4 Bud. He did. He lost every round. Bud edged out. Stormy B-Man said those are means of being disrespectful because the one they supported got handed his dinner. Salute. All right, family. Before we keep going, I want to make sure that those who are just getting into the sport understand how to even judge a boxing round. I'm not even going to get into asking, well, do you all know this? No, we're just going to go ahead and teach, all right? If you are joining me for the first time, I am Coach Hudson. I am a former USA boxing coach. I ran 2 of my own gyms. I am a former fighter, and now I am a fitness coach. But today I'm going to talk to you all as if I am judging the professional boxing match, all right? We're not doing the eye test, all right? So it's easy to say, well, you know, I think Canelo won 5. And just say that, and then I ask you, well, what rounds are you giving to Canelo? And you like, I don't know. I just say I'm going to give him 5. All right. If you say to me, hey, I think, you know, Bud only won, 7 rounds. Okay, cool. If Bud if he won 7 rounds, if you can't tell me the rounds you're giving to Canelo, at least be able to tell me or give me an example of one of the rounds you're saying was a 10-8 round for a 10-8 or a 10-9 round for Canelo. Now, for those of you who don't know what I just said, you don't understand what I mean. What's 10-9, 10-8? All right, boxing, because I heard this argument this morning, and I had to shake my head because I'm like, man, this person don't even know what they're talking about. The person was thinking that a boxing match, let's say the fight is 115, 113. They think that means the person that won landed 114 clean punches. All right, I don't mean to laugh at them, but family, we gonna teach them something real quick. When you see the 114 at the end of a boxing match, it doesn't mean they landed 114 clean punches. What that means is the judges, based off of the 10-point system, is giving the fighter who won the 114. All right, please like, subscribe, share, because I don't ask for anything in the chat. All right, now, what is the 10-point system, family? Because you got to think about it. If they were counting the actual punches landed, it would be like 1,200 to he'll be like 1,200 to 725 punches right at the end of a whole 12-round fight. So they have to use a 10-point system. Now, I'm going to tell the chat what the 10-point system means. Not Coach Hudson. I know what it means, but I'm going to read it straight from the boxing commissioner's book. Now, who remembers a few months ago, there was a huge debate. Excuse me, family. There was a huge debate between, did Lamont Roach, would he have beat Tank Davis if that round was counted that he took the knee? right? Now, there were a lot of people saying, well, the ref didn't call it the ref didn't do this and da-da-da-da-da. All right, let's say the ref did what he was supposed to do. All right. I'm bouncing around a little bit. Let's go over the 10-point system first. All right. What does the 10-point system mean? All right. When you're doing a round, you can judge it 10-7, 10-6, 10-8, 10-9, and a 10-10. Let's go what that means. It says a 10-9 round means that a standard score for most rounds, indicating a clear winner. 10-8 round is awarded when one boxer is significantly dominant, most notably if they score a knockdown. All right, a 10-10, I don't think they have this right. A 10-10 is a score given for an even round, though judges are encouraged to avoid this and declare a winner if possible. A 10-10 round is like they're going back and forth. Billy and Martinez would have been the only fight I would have said had a 10-10 round. 10-7, 10-6, that means the fighter is whooping the other fighter's asses and you're getting 1, 2, 3 knockdowns in one round. So that is how us who know the sport of boxing can look at a fight. For instance, for those of you who actually watched the live with me, I got my book that I actually used to judge a round, right? Now, we were all watching, those who were with me. Patrice X was with me. Patrice X said, that sounds right. What I usually see, I rarely ever see a 10-8 round unless someone gets knocked down, right? Okay, now, most of the rounds with Martinez and Billy, let me go back because I don't want anyone to say I'm making up as I go. This is my sheet that I did with Mbili versus Martinez. For those of you who were with me, first 2 rounds, when Mbili was going against Martinez, it was 8-10 Martinez. Martinez was getting the best of Mbili first 2 rounds. The next 2 rounds, it was 8-10 Mbili. The fifth round of Mbili versus Martinez, for the first time in a long time, I judged it 10-10. Now, there were some of you who were watching it live with me and going along with me. The 5th round, anytime there's a 10-10 round, and the person is getting a 10-8, the 2 rounds before, it's usually about to be a shift, which is what happened. Martinez was now catching Mbili in between his aggressive offensive attack. And what happened, y'all? We watched Mbili go to his corner, and Mbili's trainer told him, just keep doing what you're doing. And what did I say live? I said, what? What instruction is that? Listen, you do not tell your fighter who, even though they're getting in on an attack, when they're getting hit flush through the high guard, to keep doing what they're doing. Martinez goes back to his corner with Bomac, and Bomac gives Martinez clear instruction on what he needs to do, and what happens, it comes to a draw. So we got a 10-9 round, 10-8 round, 10-10 round. All right, 10-9 round. Remember, they're saying indicating a clear winner. A 10-9 round indicates a clear winner. So let's go back. For those who believe that it's about the punches landing at the end of the fight, it's not. What it is about is that 10-9, that 10-8. That 10-9, that 10-8. You can be beating a fighter 11 rounds, because a lot of people who call the sport of boxing rigged because of the judging, they don't even know how to judge a round. So, family, think about it. How many boxing matches have you seen where you can see that the fighter is beating them pretty much up almost all the way to round 10, and then 11 and 12, the other fighter comes back, and then they give it to that other fighter, and then you say, man, what the hell is going on? How did that happen? Now, sometimes there is some corruption, but I'm going to show you how it happens because we have it happen a lot of times in the amateurs with the same type of 10-point scoring system. All right, now think about it. If you are a decisive winner, right, in a round, that is a 10-9. Follow me, family. That's a 10-9 round. Okay? Now, let's go all the way. We get all the way to round 10. And for whatever reason, the next 2 rounds, that person puts on a master class. For whatever reason, or even gets a knockdown. Or you get reckless and they knock you down twice. You can either bring that fight all the way to a draw or actually steal the fight. For those of you who don't know the sport like that, in the amateurs, Sugar Ray Leonard was big on doing this. The last 30 seconds of the fight, he would do what's called stealing the round. Okay? So the last 30 seconds, he's being evasive the whole round. And in the last 30 seconds, right? And the judges are like, oh my God, we have to give that a 10-9. We have to give him that round. This is how people either bring it to a draw or they bring it to taking the fight. For those who don't understand what I'm saying, everyone who watched in Billy versus Martinez, that is what happened. So with that being said, let's go back to the original question. What rounds are you all giving Canelo if you all are saying he had that many rounds? Let's go to the chat. Anthony Robertson said, I gave Canelo the 11th, 7-5. Now that is somebody who has a critical point of view of what he saw and what he's saying. Anthony is telling you, I'm giving Canelo round 11, round 7, and 5. Now, I can't give him round 11 because round 11, if I'm not mistaken, round 11 is the round where Canelo looked hurt. So as a judge, that will be a 10-9 round. Hold on, I'm sorry. Yeah, that would be a 10-9 round for Bud, a 10-9 or a 10-8. All right, but I don't want to argue about per round. All I want people to do is tell me what rounds are you all giving. All right, so people are saying that's correct. Round 11. Round 11 is the round Canelo was hurt. He was hurt in 11, and he was hurt at the very end of 12. Round 11, by then, Canelo was hurt. Yeah, so I can't give him 11, but I'd rather somebody tell me what rounds they're giving him, and I can go and look and say, okay, you're saying 11, 7, and 5. I can remember and say, no, you can't give him 11 because Canelo got hurt in 11. So Anthony Robertson is saying 2, 5, 7, and 11, 4 of them. Okay, now, so let me ask you this question, Anthony. Let's get down into the science of this. Anthony, if you are giving Canelo 2, 5, 7, and 11, because the chat is saying 11, hell no. Tell me, in 2, 5, and 7, are you giving Canelo a 10-8 in those rounds? Because for Canelo to actually take that round, 2, 5, and 7, it can't be a draw. Those rounds, tell me, are you giving him a 10-8 or are you giving him a 10-9? Because remember, we're going off the 10-point system, family. We're not going off the eye test. We're not going off the eye test. Let's go back to what the commissions say. A 10-8 round is when one boxer is significantly dominant, most notably if they score a knockdown. 10-9 is indicating a clear winner. So Anthony, talk to me, family. I want to see what you're thinking. I don't want you to lead the chat. I want to see what you're thinking. If you're giving Canelo those rounds, you got to tell me. All right, so Anthony says nobody had a 10-8 round. Okay, no, can't say that. Because I think, Anthony, what you heard me say is the knockdown part. You're saying, well, nobody had a 10-8. If you beat a fighter in a dominant fashion in that round, that is a 10-8. So anybody in the chat, tell me, do you all think that Crawford or Canelo scored a 10-8 round. We're going to get in the mind of what the judges are seeing. We're going to get in the mind of what you all saw. In my opinion, and I might just have to redo a whole live where I go over the fight again, I believe Crawford did do a few 10-8s. I believe 12 and 11 was a 10-8 round for Crawford. Okay? And the only reason why I'm not giving Crawford a 10-9, follow me, family, we're doing the 10-point system. The only reason why I wouldn't give Crawford a 10-9 and 11 and 12 is Crawford, every now and then, he kept trying to counter the right and was just an inch off. But I would still give him a 10-8. Let's see what the family's saying. If anyone, it has to be Crawford. All right, let me go up. So Keenan Deck said no 10-8 rounds. All right, so family, here's the thing. Now you all have to stick, you all have to qualify what you're saying. If people are saying no 10-8 rounds, are you all saying that Crawford scored a 10-7, 10-6? Are you all saying that Crawford was getting 10-10s per what you all were seeing? Because if it's not a 10-8, if you all are saying there were no 10-8s, then you all are saying either there were 10-9s or 10-10s. Y'all got to stay with me. I don't want us to confuse the people who are trying to understand the 10-point system, because at first it is confusing. Remember, a 10-10 is a draw. All right? A 10-8 is you won in a dominant fashion or a knockdown. A 10-9 is a clear winner. A 10-7, 10-6 means you knocked that person down a few times. So y'all got to, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Patrice X said, Anthony, you have 2 minutes to explain how you gave Canelo round 11 or you getting put into your chat timeout. Anthony Robertson said, no such thing as a 10-10 round. Okay. So family, let me do this. Let me do this, because I don't want anyone thinking that I'm giving you false information. So I'm gonna give you all the actual boxing commission reference that you all can look up yourself. All right. All right, on what the 10-point system is. All right. If you all look up the 10-point system, okay. When they say Georgia scored each round, let me pull it up real quick. Pull up new tab. We're gonna go to boxing commissions rule book. Boxing commissions rule book. Because listen, family, I'm never gonna tell you all something that I don't know. And if you all say that I'm wrong, we're gonna look it up together, because my ego's not that big. I don't want to tell anybody the wrong information. Boxing commissions book rule book 10-point system. Now, what I do know is I know where to get the answer. All right. This is the book that governs all referees, etc. Unified boxing rules, the 10-point system, will be the standard system of scoring a bout. This is the Association of Boxing Commissions rule book. I want you all to know that I'm not gonna, they're reporting Turkey is done paying big money. Hey, Jose, we're gonna talk about that in a second. I'm gonna tell y'all why Turkey's pissed. Bud won those rounds only by 10-9. He didn't beat Canelo bad enough to get a 10-8 round at any point in the fight. Okay. That is, I gave Canelo Alvarez the 11th round. All right, so yeah, Anthony Robertson is saying they gave him an 11th round. Patrice X has gotten Anthony up out of here. So let's go to the Association of Boxing Commissions. No standing A count. Each round should be da-da-da-da-da. All right, so I'm not going to read all of this, But family, the Boxing Commission's rulebook goes over the 10-point system. Okay. Now, let me point something out. King on Deck. King on Deck said Bud won those rounds, but only by 10-9. He didn't beat Canelo bad enough to get, let me go back up. God, I'm trying to, hey family, how do I pin the comments? Because I want people to, this is what I want people to see. Pin, here we go. Here we go. There we go. All right, now family, this right here is what the science is all about. King on Deck said Bud won those rounds, but only by 10-9. He didn't beat Canelo bad enough to get a 10-8 round at any point in that fight. Now, King on Deck and I can have a difference of opinion between a 10-8 and a 10-9. Fine. I can say round 11, I think Crawford got a 10-8. King on Deck can say, I give that round a 10-9 because I don't believe he was dominant enough. That is the way judges should be looking at things and talking, all right? But for those of you who are just coming in saying, I give 5 rounds to Canelo, and you can't tell me the rounds. You can't tell me, well, are you giving this person a 10-8, a 10-9? What are you saying? So we're gonna learn something today as boxing fans, whether you're casual, whether you're a diehard supporter of the sport, whether you are a coach, fighter, trainer, etc. We have to know what the hell we're talking about, or we look like idiots when other people come around in the sport and are doing a better job than us. Example, when the blow-by-blow commentator, who is actually from the UFC, is doing a better job calling the fight than Max Kellerman, how do we look in the sport of boxing? Imagine, y'all, think about it. For those of you who are not grasping what I'm saying, imagine a NBA commentator getting on the panel with all NFL talking heads, journalists, commentators, and showing them all up. Now, how would they look how would the NFL look if that happened and you don't know what the hell you're talking about? Come on, family. That's why you all can't just say this crazy stuff and you can't qualify what you're saying. You can't do it. Everybody and their mama will look at you and be like, man, these are some idiots. They would look and say, man, these guys at the NFL is hiring. Why do they have them up here? That's how we look as fans of the sport of boxing. That's how we look as people in the sport of boxing that's supposed to know what they're talking about. Now, check me out. Turkey Al-Sheikh, I don't know who the hell he put in charge in doing some of the stuff that was done over this last week, but it was horrible. All of the living legends that we have, you all went for the YouTube Ring Magazine interview and got Ryan Garcia, Max Kellerman, Mike Coppinger, and whoever that black dude is at the end that has nothing to do with the sport of boxing. I'm being facetious. He has nothing to do with the sport of boxing, though. All right? We got some people still saying Crawford won 10 rounds to 2. We got some people saying Canelo won round 1 and I think 6. All right. So this is what I'm going to do, because we're going to study this later on in the week. Patrice X, do me a favor. One of my wrenches, do me a favor. If you all can make a note of the rounds they're saying Canelo won, I'll appreciate it, because what we're going to do is we're going to do a live tomorrow. And I'm just going to judge the rounds that you all are saying Canelo won. Because we got to get in front of this casual BS. We have to. We got to take the sport back. One of our greatest moments we just had, I refuse to let people F it up. All right, now how do I unpin? Because I want to pin some more messages, because you all in the chat are saying some good things. Patrice X said, thank you. Let me pen that right quick. Now check this out, family. Like Patrice X said, don't forget they let Mark Wahlberg present the belt pre-fight. Now, family, I love the movie Brothers. I love that damn movie. I love the movie, was it Max Payne? Hey, Mark Wahlberg is the man, okay? As an actor and in his field. What the hell is he doing presenting this belt before our boxing Super Bowl? Come on. Matthew Henderson said, added with Bud's skill level, Canelo never had a chance. I say Canelo split the first 4 rounds with Bud. The rest of the fight was all Bud 10-2. All right, so I need to go over those first 4 rounds. I got a pencil. Be right back, family. Because I don't want... All right, so thank you for your input. Dark Kent, I appreciate you. Thank you for your input. Dark Kent is giving the first 4 rounds as a draw. Okay. Now, for my Storm B said I score the rounds but don't have my scorecard with me at work. Now check this out, family. For the brother that said there's no such thing as a 10-10 round. Judges it's frowned upon for them to put that because they rather it to be, as a judge, you put a score that at the end it leans more towards a winner. Because if 3-4 judges all put a 10-10, they keep putting 10-10s, you're going to have a bunch of draws and nobody's really going to watch the sport. But in the 10-point system, when you have a judge and you have a scorecard in one of those little boxes, a 10-10 is a such thing. 10-10, 10-9, 10-8, 10-7, 10-6, 10-point system. All right. Let's see. Young Jay said, hell to the gnaw. Clever Knight said it looked like Bud controlled every round. Red Eye said they paid for those spots. For example, Mark paid to present the belt. Let me say this, family. Here's the issue, because I don't give a damn about that. No other sport is going to let somebody else represent our sport the way it was represented at one of our biggest moments. The NFL won't do it. The NBA won't do it. The World Cup won't do it. Come on, y'all. We have to call this shit out. We cannot keep saying, oh, well, you know, it's okay because they're getting the bag. Oh, well, it's okay because they paid for these spots. Oh, well, and no disrespect to you, brother. I'm just I'm passionate about what's been going on. And when we have our big moments, the lack of respect. Think about some of those people. I don't care what you all feel about Teddy Atlas, but if you all saw his post interview of him going off, that was a legendary interview that should have been happening per the fight. Teddy Atlas should have had a headset on and Max Kellerman ass should have been over there with Tim. You all got Teddy Atlas, a legendary trainer and commentator, over there in the back room eating Doritos with Tim. All right, let me calm down. But see, we grew up, a lot of us grew up during the time where, like our brother Stormy B-Man says, the commentators had tuxes on when it was the big moments. You had legendary fighters interviewing other fighters. You had Roberto Duran in a tuxedo giving an interview to somebody. You might see George Foreman come out of nowhere. So family, it's not about if the fight was sold. It's about the respect of the sport the same way everybody else gatekeeps their sports. The UFC does it, the NFL does it, the NBA does it, the MLB does it. They don't play about the people who are going to represent when it's time. But that's another subject. What I want to know is, this is what I seen. Dark Kent gave a draw 1 through 4. I saw Anthony or Arthur, I forget the person's name. They were kicked out the chat. Patrice X gave them a certain amount of time to answer and kicked him out. But he said Canelo won the 11th round. So that's a round I'm going to have to study tomorrow. All right. I got a round 6. Anybody else? Anybody else giving? I got 1 through 4 draw, round 11 and round 6. That's what people are saying in the chat for Canelo. Anybody else? All right. Mario says Canelo won 1st, 4th, 6th, 8th, and 10th. All right. We got 8th, 10th. All right, family now. Be honest with me, all right? Max Kellerman. Listen, y'all, I thought Max was going to get pregnant the way he was on Dana White. I was like, God damn, man, stand up. But family, I appreciate your input. I'm going to study these rounds tonight. And tomorrow when I go live, I'm going to see what round, how they were judged. Okay? And the reason why I wanted to load and pin, was it King on Deck? King on Deck. The message I pinned before, when he was talking about the difference from a 10-9, 10-8. Okay? I want you all to think about the numbers standing together. If you have a 10 and a 10, okay, that means that the fight is close. All right, we have 10 and 10. Now, let's say the person that's winning is right here and they have the 10. The more the other number goes down, that's the more the fighter is getting their ass whooped. So we got 10, 10. Once you go 9, 8, 7, 6. All right, y'all follow me now. That's the 10-point system. So 10-10, that's a draw round. 10-9, that's a close round, but the other person beat him a little bit more. 10-8, that is the 10 was dominant enough where it was clearer that you're getting your ass whooped. And a 10-7, 10-6, a knockdown has happened. Now, I asked you all earlier, those of you who saw Lamont versus Tank Davis, everybody was arguing about would that round have been enough to give the fight to Lamont Roach. And I saw a lot of people, they speak off of the eye test. There are rules. And one of the biggest things, one of the biggest issues we have in boxing is fans try to give this eye test to a round, forgetting that there are actual rules. This is why when you're looking at a rule, you need to go back and look at the Boxing Commissioner's Rule Book. There are some things that, depending on what region you're in, the rules change. Example, when they showed Canelo getting his hand wrapped, I started tripping at first. Right? I said, damn, man, it looks like Eddie Reynoso is double stacking Canelo's hands. I looked at the rule book and found out in Las Vegas, they can tape that way. Where I'm at, you can't tape that way. That matters. For those of you that don't understand what I'm talking about is, where my hand wraps at? Where my damn hand? All right, let's see. Where my hand wraps at? All right, I'm not about to go get those right now because a lot of y'all, your attention span, you'll leave the chat. So stacking is this. When you're wrapping your hands, right? So you get your hand wraps. Once the first gauze is down, okay, if you put more on there again, once you tape it, it's hard to see, but you start to form a cast, okay? And it makes that hand wrap hard as hell, all right? So in certain places, you cannot, what's called double stacking, which is why a lot of times you see somebody from the commission, and I'm giving y'all free game, y'all. I'm teaching. You got somebody from the commission. These are not things Coach Hudson's making up. This is in the book. You have somebody from the commission and you have somebody from the other person's team watching over saying, nah, yeah, they can't do that. They double stacking. It's happened before. All right. So let's go back. And I'm about to land my plane, y'all, because I know y'all got to go. So, but look, when Lamont Roach went to a knee, I went to the boxing commissioner's book. And before I heard anybody else say it, before I even came online the next day, because I actually talked to some of my brothers about this, so y'all know I'm not lying. I went to the commissioner's book and found out that the ref was actually supposed to call the fight off. Now, some of you are already tripping. No, that ain't true. It's up to the ref's discretion. It's up to the ref's discretion. Yes, calm down. Don't have a heart attack. I'm going to walk you through this. All right? I'm going to hold your hand and walk you through this. Listen. Oh, man, no, it's the ref's discretion. It's the ref's discretion. You're a goddamn lie. You're a god. Calm down, family. I'm not trying to attack your favorite fighter. Just listen to me. All right? Just listen to me. All right. In the boxing commissioner's book, it states that if a cornerman steps onto the apron with the towel without the ref's permission, the fight is disqualified. That is in the boxing commissioner's book. So the ref actually was actually supposed to, not could have. Let me make a correction. There are some things that are of the ref's discretion, like slips. A slip is the ref's discretion. Let me tell you what's not on the ref's discretion. Number 1 or number 2 cornerman cannot step onto the apron at any point during action, except under the direction of the referee. The referee did not give. I know some of y'all don't like this. The ref did not give Coach Cal permission. Tank went towards his corners like something's in my eye, and off of reflex, because everybody's trying to figure out what the hell's going on, Cal got up, stepped on the apron, and threw the towel on his head. What? This is why so many people, so many fighters in the boxing world was like, yo, you don't do that. Even Robert Garcia. What other interviews I saw? It was Robert Garcia, Virgil Hunter, Derrick James, all had said, yeah, man, you can't do that. So we don't know what the hell happened. Because you can't do that. Just like when Ali had something in his eye. Do you know how many times a fighter has something in the eye, but you can't stop the action? So I just say that so you all understand that there are actual rules in the sport of boxing. I know it's a brutal sport. I know it's two people trying to take each other's head off, but there is rules. So per that rule, per the boxing commissioner's book, if they would have counted the scorecards right, that would have been a 10-8 round. This ain't my opinion, y'all. This is the 10-point system. It would have been a 10-8 round for Lamont Roach, and Lamont Roach would have upset Tank for that fight. All right? Now, some of you are like, well, why do you bring that up? I bring that up just to point out to the casual boxing fan that the eye test does not count when the officials are doing what they're supposed to do. And if we're not careful, they're going to add to the boxing commissioner's book. Because for those of you that don't know, when Wilder fought Fury the first time, what's the ref's name that did that fight, y'all? Somebody help me. What's the referee's name? Somebody in the chat, put it in the chat. What is the referee's name who was the official for the Tyson Fury versus Wilder 1 fight? Patrice X said, don't forget they let Mark Wall. Oh, no, I didn't unpin that. Unpin message. Jack Reese, my man, Jack Reese. So Jack Reese gets up there and he does an interview, and Jack Reese is basically like, hey, man, all y'all need to shut the hell up because I counted. And this is what Jack Reese said that pissed a lot of people off, but it's in the book. Jack Reese said it's a 10 count, not a count to 10. Now, a lot of people were like, well, what kind of shit is... Hey, y'all, it's in the boxing commissioner's book. That is why the Muhammad Ali Act is important. That is why knowing how the commissions and these things work. Dark Kent said, in all fairness, and honestly, I'd rather see if Tank win or lose in the actual boxing match, not a DQ. I completely agree. And because of the moment, I believe that's why the ref didn't do. I believe he was like, nah, I ain't about to do that. I won't be able to ref another professional fight again. And those type of things do happen. But there are some refs that don't give a damn. If you are watching the prelims, I don't know that ref's name, but he had stopped one of those fights way too early. And hey, it's his discretion. He can do it. He's a ref. But family, I'm going to land my plane here, because I just wanted to go over the 10-point system. I wanted to give a shout out to one of the greatest fights that we have seen in the last decade. Shout out to Terrence Bud Crawford. We just witnessed history. And honestly, y'all, for us to see Floyd Mayweather, Terrence Crawford, Deontay Wilder, Clarissa Shields, Usyk do what he just did, to see these fighters do these great feats, and the skill set being what it is today is just it's amazing. But I'm gonna go do my studying, family. You all spoke, I listened. I'm gonna go back and study 1 through 4. I'm gonna go study round 11, 6, 8, and 10. Now, family, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, I ain't gotta go study 11. I don't know. I don't know if a family that was in the chat that said Canelo won 11 was sipping on some of that wine that I was sipping on. You know what I'm talking about? But Canelo ain't winning round 11, y'all. All right. Hernandez says, I'm sorry, but Terrence Crawford is not better than Floyd Mayweather. The only thing Crawford has is those 3 different divisions that he won undisputed. That's about it. I say that with all due respect. I'm going to enjoy this moment of Bud Crawford doing the feat he just had, because a lot of times when fighters, they do something great. Yeah, I don't know if you missed it, Mohammed Berti, or I'm sorry, I know I'm saying your name wrong, but yeah, somebody in the chat earlier said that Canelo won 11, and I think fam might have been sipping on a little bit of scissor, you know what I'm talking about? But we don't have to compare to take another fighter down. Floyd can be great in his lane. Bud can be great in their lane. Maybe I'll do a live a few weeks from now and ask the question, is Floyd better than Bud, or is Bud better than Floyd based off of the test? You know, I don't like to compare like that, because this is why. You know, there are a lot of fighters that Floyd fought, that Manny fought as well, and Manny beat the shit out of them. But then, hey, when Floyd fought Manny, it didn't translate like that. So, you know, the triangle theory don't really work in boxing, because it's always, it's like, yeah, but that guy beat that guy, and then that guy beat that guy worse, and then he fought him, and that guy beat that guy. So, you know, But we'll do that another time. Right now, y'all, let's just enjoy what one of our champions just did in the sport of boxing. And what they did is they just showed that all of these clown shows, all of these exhibitions that's going on, doesn't hold a candle when you have two elite warriors going head to head and boom, you know. But I know my brother 78 is probably on. I know Champ Side is going to be on soon. So I'm going to get on our family. I'm going to study these rounds per what you all said. And we'll go over that either tomorrow or later on in the week. Just stay tuned. Put on your notifications for my channel if you like this boxing talk that we spoke this morning, because we're going to go over this again. But peace to the family. Thank you, everybody that came in. Shout out to all my wrenches. You all did a great job regulating the chat and getting people out of here if they were trying to be agents of chaos. But peace to the family, peace to my comrades, and it's always smoke to the COINTELPRO boxing fan. And I will study round 3 as well. Peace to